What would you, as a commissioner, make as your priorities?
Jobs. There is no hesitation on that. Number one should be jobs. We should do everything possible. I've told some people, I said we should do everything that's legal and maybe some that's not to get jobs. And I sincerely mean it, because that is what makes a vibrant community, is with people employment. And so we just need to do everything we can to attract new industry and to work with existing, I said industry, but I mean all phases of jobs. I do have, Steve bumped the camera, that wasn't my head shaking there. But anyhow, some people have said, well, we need high-paying jobs. We need jobs. We need entry-level jobs. When I'm talking to young people, I always tell them the first thing you should do is get a job. Don't worry about it. You're not going to be there the rest of your life. Get a job and immediately start looking for a better job. Get your education, get your training. You don't have to go to college. You need training in a field, and a lot of times it's not a college degree. It's a trade that you have to learn, because there's carpentry, there's plumbing, there's electric. I mean, there's them kind of trades too that have very good paying jobs. But the first thing is, and I don't want to insult anybody, but I mean, if it's from flipping hamburgers or whatever, get a job and then immediately start looking for a better one to improve yourself. That is the number one thing that the commissioners and the mayor and all the different committees need to be working together to attract jobs. And if it's tax abatement, then it's tax abatement. And a lot of people don't understand tax abatement in the fact that you're not lowering or doing away with taxes on the raw ground. You're doing away with the improvements that are made. So I would rather have 10% of something than 100% of nothing. And so that's the reason I'm in favor of not retail. Now, the city does allow for retail. But to my thinking, with retail, all you're doing is taking jobs or taking customers away from another retail spot in the county, and you're not doing something that's new. Just because a new store moves in, I don't have more money in my pocket to spend for retail items, and that's where it needs to be in your service fields or in your manufacturing fields is where the jobs need to be created. And the other thing that I think is so true, and this is one of the complaints I have with the commissioners today, is that we need, as a county, to make as much with the county work, with the county contracts and everything. We need to have local firms handle them. There is some times, and somebody can punch me with the finger on the fact that currently, I'll admit, that on the courthouse contract that we have there, that's an out-of-state contractor, but he is using some local craftsmen on it, or local supplies and stuff, but that is such a specialty type project that you don't find a contractor with the experience locally on that.
Any other priorities that you might set?
Well, I think your roads, your streets. Another thing that's very important that we have a problem, I receive a lot of phone calls at home on, and that is drainage in this county. And the commissioners, along with the surveyor, makes up the drainage board for this county, but the surveyor is not a voting member, so it's the three commissioners that vote on the drainage projects. There is a problem in which the project has to be done, and then you collect the money back from the property owners that benefited from that project. So in order to help get them projects started, when I was president last year of the county council, we set aside, or said that we would provide $2 million to the drainage board to fund the projects to get started. And then as the property owners, and this is all state law and everything, that the property owners that are in that drainage area have to pay it. It's basically like a Barrett assessment, if you're familiar with that. And as that money is paid back by the property owners, then the $2 million would be reimbursed. And if the county council needed that funding, we would have the opportunity of taking it back. But if we didn't, it would just stay in there as a revolving amount of money to be used over and over to get these projects done and to get caught up, because we're behind. It used, I haven't checked recently, but it was well over 20 legal drains that had been petitioned by the property owners that was not being completed. So that is another thing that I would work on. Maybe say in my first 100 days in office.
Okay. Anything else then?
No, I think that's probably enough.
Okay.
People are getting tired watching this, so.